Hi, I'm Rebecca Harris, and welcome to this edition of Faces and Places. Today we're at the beautiful Phenix City Amphitheater, where we're going to have a fabulous event that I'm so excited to tell you about. It's called Take the City. It's a revival on the river. And I think it was 4 years ago, Andrew Chalmers, my guest here, popped into my office and said that he wanted to talk to me about something exciting. And this was a dream that you had, and it has come true, and it's so successful. I know it's been a lot of work for you, but it's just a wonderful event. So I want you to please tell us how this became.
Yeah, well, thank you so much for having me today, and it's exciting. Looking forward to Revival on the River again this year. And so, really, the story is part of the way that Revival on the River came to be is about 4 or 5 years ago. I just really had a vision for what would it look like for all of the churches and different community groups and organizations and people from not just Columbus, but Columbus and Phenix City and Fort Benning area, just the whole area. What would it look like for them to come together? And I was actually a part of a steering committee for another event that we were planning for April of 4 years ago. And as we were planning that event, we had planned to do a much smaller, much easier planning event that we had done the previous year. And someone on the steering committee actually threw out this idea. They said, hey, what if we rented like a big amphitheater, and what if we had all the people in the different churches, they all came to us, and then people from the city came, and we just had a big celebration service, and we were able to share the gospel with anyone who hasn't heard the gospel yet, and given an opportunity to respond to Jesus. And as they shared, I remember just being like, yeah, that's a great idea, but that's a lot of work. And so I was kind of not open to it.
Right.
But about a month later, I got curious, and that's where I got in touch with you. And actually, when I first got in touch with you, I don't know if you remember this, but the dates that I was interested in were booked.
Yes.
And the dates were already booked, and they were taken. And I was kind of thankful that they were taken, because that meant we couldn't do this idea. And so, but what's awesome is you actually connected me with another group of people who had a vision for doing something similar. And so we started meeting and talking and connecting. And after we met the first time, we just really sensed that we were to move forward in this. And so we did. We started inviting more and more community members to come together. And within about 4 months, we had our very first Revival on the River. And the coolest testimony for me is this. One idea I had after we talked to you and we decided to move forward was, I was like, it'd be great to be able to offer food to people who come. And it'd just be a great draw, for people to come. And so I sent an email to Chik-fil-A here locally. And I said, dear Chik-fil-A, I'd like for you to donate food for 3,000 people at this event that we're doing. And they had no idea who I was. And anyways, they responded and they said no. And I was like, I was not shocked at all. But then a couple weeks later, I get a call from the store owner operator here in Phenix City. And he called me and he said, hey, tell me a little bit more about this event. And I was like, I wonder why you're asking me, because you guys already said no. But I began to tell him, and he said, well, listen, I'm gonna bring this up the ladder to the corporate office and see if they're interested in partnering with this event. And so anyways, he called me about a week or two later and said that Chik-fil-A had approved it. And so that was a big incredible breakthrough for us, that we were able to have Chik-fil-A partner with us, and several other organizations and ministries. They partnered with us that first year. And then we had thousands of people that came, and it was just such an incredible night of seeing people of different ages, people that are Black, white, Hispanic, Asian, all these different races, people of different denominations. So people that are Southern Baptist, Presbyterian, Pentecostal, CME, AME, all these things. We had people from all different types of churches, and it was just such an incredible event to see people coming together. And one of the inspiring verses that really inspired the event, it really actually comes out of the Bible in the book of John. in John chapter 17, and there's several other scriptures too, but really in John chapter 17 is where Jesus, before he goes to the cross, he prays that he prays for us, or people that are followers of Jesus. And one of the things that he prayed is that we would be one as he and the Father are one, that basically we would be united together.
Right.
And so really the heart and the spirit behind the event is that we would put aside our differences and come together and just really celebrate what God's doing in our city on a yearly basis. And what's incredible, I just want to share this testimony with you, is that other cities around the country have begun to become interested in what we're doing in our city.
Awesome.
Because the idea of doing this in cities around the country, I mean, it's truly a work of God. It's in spite of me and our organization and Ian and just everyone who's involved. I mean, it's kind of like this event keeps happening in spite of us, not necessarily because of us, just to be honest with you, you know, and we just feel like it's God's heart to bring his people together, you know, and so we appreciate you guys working with us every year.
Well, the city is very excited about doing this because the closest thing that we have to this is when we do our 4th of July celebration. And we have people, you know, say we would like to see more Christian things going on in the amphitheater. And I'm just so proud that our city will allow us to do that, because there's a lot of cities that wouldn't allow this sort of thing to happen on city property.
Yep.
But we are very blessed and fortunate. We have a mayor who prays before we have meetings. We have a city manager who is really behind all of this, and it's just very, very touching to me to see the generosity of the city.
It's incredible.
That helps with this event. And I also wanted to touch on Chik-fil-A for a second. It's a huge undertaking for these people to make 3,000 sandwiches.
It is.
Bagged lunches, basically.
Yeah.
And so they called me and said that they were ready to make the delivery. And until you see that, you don't really realize how much work went into that. So I came down here and I unlocked the concession doors, and we just piled these boxed meals in there, and it was floor to ceiling basically. And then they came in like a well-oiled machine, and they had their little lineup, and they knew exactly what to do to serve that many people. And it really made me think about Jesus and the loaves of bread.
Yeah.
And it was just very, very touching. But the thing that got me the most was the general managers came here, and they walked over the amphitheater, and I thought, what are they doing? I was just kind of watching to see, and I said, is there anything I can help you with? And they just kind of gathered around up there, and they said, no ma'am, we just want to pray over the amphitheater.
Wow.
So I was like, yeah, that's what this is about.
That is.
And so, you know, I've always been an advocate of Chik-fil-A because they do so much in our community. Every time I turn around in Phenix City, Chik-fil-A is there. So it was a wise thing for you to get in touch with them.
Yeah.
And I know you have other businesses that have gotten involved this year.
So many, yeah.
Can you tell me a little bit about those businesses?
Yeah, well, we've had a lot of incredible business partners that help make this event. So first of all, this is a totally free event, and this is an extremely expensive event on our behalf. And it's something that we want to continue to do 100% for free, because honestly, a lot of ticketed events, I mean, there are people who, if they, two of us are trying to go, $70, they can't afford $70. So it's great to have this free event. And so what we've done is we've reached out to business partners and sharing the vision. And so this year we had Aflac, they partnered with us for the first time. We had an incredible partnership with Callaway Blue, which is a water company, a local water company, and they've actually partnered with us. They're going to be giving away waters that evening. That's awesome. And it's really good water too, so I'm excited. We have Zelmo's, which is a gas station in town. They partnered with us for the first time, and their owner is just a strong Christian and just incredible supporter. And then we have TSIS. They've supported us again over the years. TSIS has been an incredible supporter of this event, which really means a lot to us because they support such a wide variety of different types of events, and that they see value in this type of event as well. And then we also have a new really cool supporter for the event, which is Fuller Life Chiropractic. And what's interesting is their doctors are all born-again Christians. Oh, good. And their practice is just an incredible, it's a great practice because it's not just about treating someone's body, but it's a holistic approach to helping people. And so actually they'll be here at the event, and there's a long list of others that I hate to not mention, but there's a, especially Teen Challenge, that I want to mention them. Teen Challenge is an organization that helps people with drug, alcohol addiction, not just teens, but also adults.
Yes,
and
that's how I met you, through Teen Challenge.
Yeah. So Teen Challenge, they help us put the event on. So they help financially, they help volunteer, and all kinds of stuff. We really couldn't do it without the help of Teen Challenge as well. So I mean, it's really a collaboration. We have local churches that donate money towards this event on a yearly basis, and it's incredible. Like you said, the leadership we have in Phenix City and Columbus. But not only that, like my heart has been so overwhelmed by just the radical generosity of our leaders, the business owners. I mean, they're asked a lot from a lot of people,
right.
And yet they continue to be generous, which is easy, I think, after you get asked a million times for something, to just say, I'm done.
Right.
But I feel like they just continue to be generous, and it's just incredible. So we're excited for this year.
That is very awesome. So, Andrew, can you tell me what this means to you personally?
Yeah, this is really means a lot to me personally. It's a dream come true. Doing these events are things for me that you have dreams, that things that you want to see happen. And every time this happens, it's kind of surreal for me, just because where I my past. I mean, 7 years ago, I was addicted to drugs. I was homeless. I had no car, no money, no house, and for me to be a part of an event like this is an incredible privilege. It's a dream come true, because it's amazing that God could use someone like me, who was so broken and so flawed and addicted to drugs and just all the things I went through, and that he would use me, and I just give him all the glory for that. It's just a privilege. It's such a joy, and we have an amazing team. So I love getting to work with them and just seeing how God uses even our team, like, to pull this thing off.
That's wonderful. And you have some wonderful news to share too. You have another little blessing.
Yeah, my wife and I had. Well, this is interesting. So last year we did this event. The next weekend I got married. So April of 2016 was one of the busiest months of my life.
I was just thinking about that. And then this year you've had the birth of the baby.
Yeah, so we had a baby, and so little baby Josiah, he's amazing. So he'll probably be here for Revival on the River.
He's so cute.
Yep.
But the point I wanted to make is, last year you were getting married. You could have easily said, that's too much for man, can't do that.
Yeah.
And then this year y'all getting ready to have your first baby.
Yeah.
And it's a personal sacrifice to take the time to do all the things that you have to do to make these events happen. So I want to thank you for that work that you've committed to, and tell you how proud I am of you.
Thank you so much. Yeah, that means a lot, and it's worth the sacrifice. Last year, after the event, we continued getting emails from people, and they were sharing us stories about how their lives were changed. I mean, life change, how God did something so extraordinary in their lives that they'll never be the same. And to me, like, what? Even if one person was impacted in a way that their life was never the same, it's worth all the time, all the money. And I'll tell you one story. Well, last year, there was a young man that came into this event. He was one of thousands of people, and he was just sitting alone. And we have a prayer team that's committed to pray for people if they have needs. And they went up and talked to him, and basically he said that he didn't know what the event was about, but he came here just to see what was going on. And a year before that, his girlfriend or his fiance had passed away in the river here. And he said he actually came down to the river because he wanted to commit suicide. Wow. And when he came down to the river to kill himself, he heard the music, and he came over and he sat here in the amphitheater. And our prayer lady, one of our prayer team leaders, she just came up and talked to him, and she found that out, and she was able to minister to him. And he actually decided, instead of ending his life, that he wanted to begin a new life with Christ. And just like, to me, after I heard that story, if that's the only reason we did the whole event, it's worth it, that we would intervene in someone's life and that they would experience the hope that God has for them, and that's what it's all about. So it's definitely worth the sacrifice.
And I've heard a lot of other stories too, and it's a really incredible event. So if you have not been here, or even if you have been here each time, we hope that you will come back out and join us for the Revival on the River.
This is a supermom. She takes care of the family, takes care of business. She takes care of everything. Where does she get her superpowers? Well, we don't know for sure, but the fact that she has the fastest internet speeds in the area thanks to CTV Beam certainly helps. That powers all her devices, or gadgets, or secret weapons.
Powered by CTV. Every day, we're powered by you.
Hi, I'm Meg.
Hi, I'm Bryce.
Are you still looking for some furniture? Central Home Furnishings is your one-stop shopping center for all your new furniture.
Check out the reclining power motion furniture and lift chairs. Just in are collegiate rockers and camera recliners with matching sofas. Come see our Englander Sleep Center and take home a set of Englander bedding for a good night's sleep.
Be sure and tell them Bryce
And Meg sent you.
So welcome back to this edition of Faces and Places, where we're at the Phenix City Amphitheater today. And my special guest that I have with me is Ian Allen. And Ian is a musician. And I want you to explain to me how you use your talent for God.
Absolutely. Yeah, I've been a musician, worship leader for the past 17, 18 years. And so really involved in church settings and events like this outside the walls of the church. And so it's really in my blood. It's a lot of what I've known most of my life, and so that's very important for me. That's my way to express my gifts and my talents and to glorify the Lord. And so how that's kind of transitioned into this atmosphere, this type of event, and what I'm doing is with imminent worship now. My heart is, I really lead less than I used to, but my heart is to really empower other worship leaders and get behind them and help lift them up, equip them, and put them in positions and opportunities that they can use that gift. And so it's in my blood, it's who I am, and so I love finding opportunities to serve in that way.
Well, that's awesome. When did you know as a child that you wanted to be a musician, that you had this gift?
I don't know. I started playing guitar in middle school. None of my brother and my parents don't have musical talent, and so I don't know where it came from. I think I just saw it in friends and kind of wanted that, and so I kind of just hung out in their shadow for a long time and learned from them. I never took lessons. It was always just playing in living rooms and environments where I could learn from my friends. And so I just had a blast doing it. Most of my friends were involved musically, and so that was just kind of the route I wanted to take and the people I wanted to hang out with.
So Ian, the first time I met you, you were here at the amphitheater and you were doing the Thunder on the Hooch program with us for 4th of July. And that was just an amazing event, and it's so wonderful to have people here in the amphitheater praising and worshiping the Lord. And the thing that excites me so much about music is people can be here of all different kinds of faiths, and music will bring them together.
Right.
So I'm very, very proud of what you're doing in the community with your music. And can you share with us a little bit about what we can expect at this event for the music portion of it?
Absolutely. So we make sure that it's very diverse in what it looks like. From previous years, we don't want somebody to come back and expect like this is exactly what you're going to get.
Right.
But we want different styles of music. We want different churches involved. We really want we don't want it to look cookie cutter or one specific way, because everybody, especially in worship, but through music as well, everybody expresses their musicality, their worship, how they praise in different ways. And so we don't ever want it to look like a right way or a wrong way. And so we make sure intentionally there's different teams here of different ages, of different colors, of different backgrounds. And so we make sure intentionally that there's a wide array of singing and dancing and choirs and bands and every kind of piece of music.
And it is very exciting too. I remember the first year that you did it, I was just so in awe of the amphitheater being filled up with people of all ages, raising their hands and praising the Lord and just really getting into it. And I know that a lot of work goes into getting this stage ready and getting all of the different people who are participating in it together.
It does.
And they all work together on their own to do what they do and bring it to us. So I just want to thank you for representing all of them and coming out to do this event for us. It's going to be a very, very special thing.
We look forward to it every year, and we appreciate you guys having us back. Initially from the beginning, I don't know if it was meant to be a reoccurring thing, and it was just so successful, and the community really got behind it, and we just saw the positive impact that it had. And so we want to leverage that in any way we possibly can. So thank y'all.
Well, how long does it take you to plan the music portion of this?
A while. This is the first year my role has kind of increased in what's been on my plate every year. So this has been the first year that I've been over everything stage related. And so I had no idea what all went into the phone calls and the emails and coordinating teams behind the scenes to get together and practice that I'm not facilitating, and then the organization of the day of, where they all get here and they have a time slot to sound check and get up here, and so there's a lot of moving pieces to make it happen, and it's really beautiful to see the night of just how seamlessly it all seems with groups of people that have never met before, they've never worked together before, never sung together before, and so it's really neat to see all of these background pieces come together as one unit on the night of.
So how many years have we done this event?
This will be the 4th year.
Okay.
So we've done it 3.
Yes, well, it's very exciting, as I said, and again, I want to thank you for everything that you're doing for it, and we hope that you guys will feel free to just praise the Lord in any way that you want to while they're performing or worshiping or ministering or however we want to describe this.
Absolutely.
So, Ian, again, thank you so much for coming and joining us
today.
Thank you. If anybody wants to get in touch with you, if they have any questions about the musical portion of this, can you please give us a contact number for you?
Yeah, the best would be to reach me at my email, which is Ian, I-A-N, @imminentworship.org. You can also go to our website, Imminent Worship, and there's a contact link. So if you forget that email and just send me something in the contact, that'll come directly to me with questions and anything else.
All right. Well, thank you so much
for
coming out.
Absolutely.
Today,
thank you.
I'm looking forward to seeing you on the 28th.
You too. Thank you.
There's been 1,000 roads that I've seen that go 1,000 ways, but my shoes are ready to carry me as far as they can take. And I know that I've need of you more than ever before. Found that I was knocking here in heaven's open door. Oh, welcome to the good life. Welcome to the sunrise. Welcome to a world I've never known before. Welcome to the good life. Living in your spotlight. Here I am with words I've never known before. Seems like the more that I've seen the world, the less I seem to know. But I know that I'm in need of you more than ever before. And you reach every part of me, every corner of my soul, and you bring life to all of me. Welcome to the good life. Welcome to the sunrise. Welcome to a world I've never known before. Welcome to the good life. Living in your spotlight. Here I am with words
So Andrew, can you recap for us and tell us what time it's going to start and a little bit more about what time people can arrive and what they can expect when they get here?
Yeah, I would get here at the Phoenix City Amphitheater on Friday, April 28th. Get here between 5 and 6. The doors will open at 6 p.m. There will be a very long line, typically there has been. And so just get here as early as you can. And then the doors open at 6, and so that's when we will be passing out food, and we'll have games and fun. There'll be a fun area for the kids, and we'll actually have a DJ and just music going on. And then we'll have our official start about 7 o'clock. We'll have the mayors here and different people, pastors and leaders will be sharing. And then after that, we'll kick off the concert. We'll have an incredible night of music. And then at the end, we'll have a time where just people can hear an encouraging message and respond, and that'll be the night. And then the next day, we're actually coming back together, not here, but we'll be across the street across the river at the Columbus Trade Center at 1 o'clock for a community outreach day. So we want to invite people to both of those. And the information is all at revivalontheriver.com, or just look it up on Google or go on Facebook, and you'll be able to find it on there.
Well, that sounds great.
Thank you so much.
And again, I'm very, very excited about this. It is so awesome to see the whole amphitheater filled up with people praising and worshiping the Lord here on the river. It's a beautiful thing. You don't want to miss it. So, Andrew Chalmers,
thank you so much.
thank you for being my guest today on
Thank
Faces
you.
and Places, where you never know whose face you'll see or which place will be. But we hope we'll see you at the amphitheater on April 28th.
That's right. Thank you.